Mgtow Millionaire. Working's the power. Welcome back to my little corner of the web. This is Fucker Truman, your host, back with another video. Today we're going to touch on a subject that was very interesting for me. Thank you, SwineDog712, for the comments, and we're going to start off with that. Shout out to JD as well. Men that work as my friend, or worked as my friend, as a gangster or a mafia guy, can still deliver fear into women today, and they still exist. And they still exist in the United States. It's a lot harder than it used to be. And just I'm gonna give you some pointers on how that works. And I'm probably gonna be in the NSA directorate or the CIA or something, because that's why it's better to relocate to South America. Anyway, let's begin. Imagine yourself, you are a true hitman. And you manage yourself. How do you get paid in order to get tracked? You need to get paid in, for an example, cryptocurrencies, but not Bitcoin and all that stuff. You need to get paid in Monero, because that coin, for many reasons that you can check technically in the internet, it's untraceable. They can't know who is the owner of that, because the blockchain as itself protects all transactions, and no one knows who did what or when. The only thing they know is when it was, but nobody knows how much it was or whatever. It's pretty much impossible to track it down if you're careful. So Monero is the cryptocurrency of choice for drug dealers, drug lords, arm dealers, and other evil stuff that I won't mention here. And a hitman in today's environment will be very careful not leaving any DNA test, and find a way to transport whatever hit they have in a contained system. And then one of the techniques that they normally use to make sure they don't get trumped over is take off the teeth of whatever person they deal with, crush them and throw them into a river, for example, and then they will go disappear, and then burn up everything else. Burning up things normally leaves no DNA testing, or no DNA testing possibility or track of anything. And the only thing that's still DNA testable, as far as I understand, is the teeth of somebody. Oof, that was harsh. Well, that's just an example. And that type of people get to be very scary. You just don't mess with that type of people. So you're starting to get what I say with fear. Anyway, to the next point. Having explained that and the power, what power generates in women, and after they fear you or they respect you because they know they can't cross you and they understand that sort of stuff, they are the powerful men and the Mgtow movement and the feminism, and how things are changing. Just about reading news lately about Les Moonves, the CBS boss, that's getting, basically, I guess he's going to get sued by former women that he abused, he had sex with them, whatever, used them as sex toys, because that's just part of the game with the big boys. In South America, my boss had to play by the same rules. He always told me something that I want to share with you. He's playing to little child terms for me. It's like, this is the 5-year-old version of I'm explaining this to you, he said, and he went like this. Imagine yourself that there's a level of life from $0 to 1 million. Imagine yourself that there's a level from 1 million to 5 million, then 5 million to 10, then 10 to 20, 20 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 and up. Imagine that in general terms, so you have an idea in your mind. Every single level determines the people you interact with. The higher you go, the more powerful people you interact with. The more powerful people you interact with, the harder it gets to be free. If you ever watched Godfather Part 3, and Al Pacino's character says that the higher I go, the more corrupt it gets. Yep, that's basically how it is. You want to be free, truly free. My boss used to say, make 5 million, 10 tops, stay there, have a blast, enjoy your life. Stay there. And I'll just stop on that point. Let's go to the feminist and the Mgtow movement, which is the current thing, and what I said with the CBS post on what's happening. Back in the days in Wisconsin, when women had no voting rights. The men decided to give women voting rights because basically there were too many men, too few women, and they needed more pussy. So by thinking with a little head and not the big head, they screwed themselves over because of their desires, or out of their desires. And qui bono, that's Latin for who benefits. Who benefits from this? The majority of men in the world are common men like you and me. So some of us have more money than others, and that's about it. But we're not multi-millionaires in the sense of having $5 million and up. So the only ones who benefit from taking the control out of the assets of common men, control out of the decisions for the family of common men, who are they? The women, really? Most women don't know what they want. Most women are irrational, childlike. They want to be celebrated. They don't really know what they want one minute or the next. But they want to be pampered. They want to have all the money in the world. And then if they have all the money in the world, it's not enough because then they will need a guy that has all the money in the world and then something else to be in love because it's not enough because he's not equal to her and other stuff in their minds. So who truly benefits from the Mgtow movement and all this? Women get treated better. They get better paid jobs. They get more money in their bank accounts. They live high-class lifestyles even. So what? Most of them are still unhappy because they can't find a match that they feel that is worth their time. So all these career women is just like girl power and all that stuff. Was it worth it? For most women, you will find that it's not. Most women are depressed that they're 35, great careers, supposedly they're really great catches and nobody wants to marry them. No man wants a nagging woman that thinks that she's better than him. Deep down, we don't like that. And sexual liberation has made their value drop. Even if they're worth 100 million in the bank account, to many men, a used up pussy is basically worth less than $1. Nobody wants to smash that, unless you're drunk or something. I'm being extremely harsh with my speaking in my saying this with this subject, but it's true. Women used to respect themselves because the one thing that men want to have is true loyalty, and the only way to have a possibility of that happening is if she hasn't touched another man, so she can create a physical connection and an emotional connection with the first man she ever interacts with in a physical sexual context, you know. But having said that, who benefits from all this? Women in general? Look at all those 30-year plus tots out there with children, single mothers, and some of them have great careers, some of them are lawyers, some of them are doctors, and go ask around. At least 30 or 40% you'll find that they're sad about their lives. They're not happy because nobody wants to drag his ass to take care of another man's child and to deal with the demands of a 30-year-old plus woman, because and when they get to 39 or 40, they get desperate, and you know how it works. So who's really benefiting from all this? My boss always said is the richer men. The richer men are always getting better. But now the cup is spilling over to their side. As I said, the CBS boss is getting probably sued and other stuff by other women. So that will cut the access to the big guys and the big hunches, because all these sexual deprivation that big hunches and rich guys do is part of playing with the club. Many of them don't want to do it. I'm pretty sure, because I know my boss and I knew my ex-boss, correction. They just have to play along because they will have to be part of the club. And when you're rich into a certain level, like my ex-boss, as I said in a previous video, he has, like, as far as I knew, is $30 million in his bank account plus a bunch of other stuff. So he's over the hundreds already, like Masu. So he had to play along with the rest, and I'm pretty sure the rest have dirt on my boss. And my boss has dirt on them, and that's the only way they know he's part of the club, and that's the only way he keeps his fortune going. It's a harsh game. Women don't get to play that game. women get eaten alive in those levels. So the Mgtow movement, feminism. You can even read back to Bernard and his writings on his book on propaganda. It's the originator of the women liberation movement, and that was just some guy that wrote how to liberate women and make the nexus between the husband and the wife debilitate. He wrote that, and he started doing that in the 1920s, 1930s as an experiment. And the first thing he did was saying that the smoking was really cool for the ladies, and that was the first campaign. He started putting ads in the newspapers back in those days, and women started seeing that in the photos, so they started smoking. So he determined that women are easily manipulated as long as their ego gets stroked. So yeah, so I know you're totally right about the feminism and the Mgtow movement and everything that's happening is like a cat out of the bag, and there's no way to put it back in. But true strength and true power can be denied and can be touched. When you see all these super powerful men that had to play by the rules of the old club in order to get in, get dragged by the mud by the women they have used, or whatever you want terms you want to say, whatever terms you want to say, and put their livelihood and their fortunes and everything else in jeopardy, things are going to tighten up. And I say tighten up, a new paradigm is going to be born. But that don't mean that women don't fear you. That's why it's taken so long for them to start speaking out against this type of men. But this type of men, that means if these type of men are falling down, there are other rich men that are benefiting. And the cycle will keep going on and on and on and on. Normally it's just one group using other groups to hurt their enemies. That's what my boss always said, because he was caught in some dirty trappings in a trap too. And I wanted to touch on the subject of how is it that a powerful man can rule over women. That can still be done today, but that will be the next video. This is just a snippet of what we're going to touch during the week about power and dynamics with men and women today. This is Fucker Truman, and this was basically a huge rant. Tell me if you like this type of content, so we keep talking about it and we'll get far more in depth on the subject. Like, share, and subscribe. This is Fucker Truman, your host. Thank you guys. Signing out.